잉아, 오늘은 Mr. Popper's Penguins Chapter 7을 읽어보겠습니다. Chapter 7. Captain Cook builds a nest. Very reluctantly, Jenny and Bill had to leave Captain Cook and go to school. Mrs. Popper was busy in the kitchen, rather belatedly doing the breakfast dishes, and while she dimly realized that the penguin was going in and out the refrigerator pretty frequently, she thought nothing of it at first. Meanwhile, Mr. Popper had abandoned his telephoning and was now busy shaving and making himself neat in honor of being the owner of such a splendid bird as Captain Cook. But the penguin, though thus neglected for the moment, was by no means idle. With the unusual excitement on and having to go to market earlier than usual, Mrs. Popper had not yet got around to straightening the house. She was an excellent housekeeper, still with two children like Jenny and Bill, and a husband with such untidy ways. There is no denying the fact that she had to pick up the place rather frequently. Captain Cook was now attending to the picking up. Into the corners of every room he prowled and poked and pecked with a busy thoroughness. Into every closet he stared with his wide circled eyes. Under and behind all the furniture he crowded his plump figure with little subdued cries of curiosity, surprise, and pleasure. And each time he found what he seemed to be looking for, he picked it up in the black end of his red beak and carried it waddling proudly on his wide pink feet into the kitchen and into the icebox. At last it occurred to Mrs. Popper to wonder what on earth the busy bird was up to. When she looked, she could only scream to Mr. Popper to come quickly and see what Captain Cook had done now. Mr. Popper himself, looking rather remarkable, as Mrs. Popper noticed later, joined her in staring with astonishment into the refrigerator. Captain Cook came up too and helped them look. Ork, ork, he said with triumph. Mrs. Popper laughed and Mr. Popper gasped as they saw the results of Captain Cook's trips through the house. 2 spools of thread, 1 white chess bishop, and 6 parts of a jigsaw puzzle, a teaspoon and a closet box of safety matches, a radish, 2 pennies, a nickel, and a golf ball, 2 penny stops, 2 pencil stops, 1 bent playing card, and a small ashtray, 5 hairpins, an olive, 2 dominoes, and a sock, a nail file, 4 buttons of various size, a telephoning slug, 7 marbles, and a tiny doll's chair, 5 checker pieces, a bit of graham cracker, a percassey cup, and an eraser, a door key, a button hook, and a crumpled piece of tinfoil, half of a very old lemon, the head of a china doll, Mr. Popper's pipe, and a ginger ale cap, an ink bottle cork, 2 screws, and a belt buckle, 6 bits from a child's necklace, 5 building blocks, a turning egg, a bone, a small harmonica, and a partly consumed lollipop, 2 toothpaste lids, and a small red notebook. I guess this is what you called the rookery, said Mr. Popper. Only he couldn't find any stones to build his nest with. Well, said Mrs. Popper, those penguins may have hidden ways at the South Pole, but I declare I think this one is going to be quite a help around the house. Or, said Captain Cook, and strutting into the living room, he knocked over the best lamp. I think, Papa, said Mrs. Popper, that you had better take Captain Cook outside for a little exercise. Good gracious, but you're all dressed up. Why, you look almost like a penguin yourself. Mr. Popper had smoothed down his hair and shaved off his whiskers. Never again would Mrs. Popper have to reproach him for looking as wild as a lion. He had put on a white shirt with a white tie and white flannel trousers and a pair of bright tan ox-blue shoes. He had got out of the cedar chest his old black evening tailcoat that he had been married in, and brushed it carefully and put it on too. He did indeed look a little like a penguin. He turned and stood like one now for Mrs. Popper, but he did not forget his duty to Captain Cook. Can I have a few yards of clothesline, please, Mama? asked Mr. Popper. 오늘은 7장을 읽었습니다. 그래서 요약 정리를 해드리겠습니다. 빌이랑 제니는 마지못해 학교를 갔습니다. 파퍼 부인은 설거지를 하고 있었고 파퍼씨는 캡틴 쿡의 소유주라는 것을 자랑스러워하며 자신을 꾸미고 있었습니다. 근데 파퍼 부인이 마켓에 간 사이 캡틴 쿡이 온 사방을 돌아다니며 많은 물건들을 갖고 왔습니다. 그래서 파퍼 부인이 그걸 보고 놀랐고 파퍼씨를 소리쳐 불렀습니다. 파퍼씨도 같이 놀랐습니다. 근데 캡틴 쿡은 자신이 잘했다듯이 소리를 냈습니다. 파퍼 부인과 파퍼씨가 놀란 캡틴 쿡이 가져온 물건들은 실패 2개, 직소 퍼즐 6조각, 무, 골프공, 몽땅 연필 2개, 재떨이, 붓을 7개, 과자 조각, 지우개, 문키, 파퍼씨의 담배 등등이 이 밖에도 더 많은 물건들을 또 가져왔습니다. 근데 또 캡틴 쿡이 돌아다니다가 최고로 좋은 램프도 넘어뜨려서 파퍼 부인은 파퍼씨에게 캡틴 쿡을 데리고 밖에 나가서 운동하는 게 좋겠다고 말했습니다. 그래서 파퍼씨가 말했습니다. 끈 좀 줄 수 있어요? 오늘은 7장을 읽고 요약 정리를 했습니다. 렉스의 읽기 실력이 2% 향상했다. 뭔가 잘했다 하시면 구독, 좋아요, 알림 설정, 댓글까지 해서 우리 잉스가 더 힘을 내서 영상을 잘 찍어보도록 응원과 격려 보내주세요. 감사합니다.